coffee brewing as the sun peeks through the haze. Birds are chirping, serenading morning's praise. Front porch creaks as dreams fade away. America's awakened to a brand new day. Old vinyl spinning a sweet old tune. Day starts dancing under a sleepy moon. Newsprint smudges on fingers of grace. America's awakened at her own steady pace. Sips of sunshine in a coffee cup. Simple moments lifting spirits up. From the mountains to the sandy shore. Morning in America, want just a little more. Neighbors waving with a friendly rise. Kids with backpacks chasing daylight skies. Eyes cooling on a windowsill so fine. America's awakened with a heart full of shine. Old vinyl spinning a sweet old tune. Day starts dancing under a sleepy moon. Newsprint smudges on fingers of grace. America's awakened at her own steady pace. Sips of sunshine in a coffee cup. Simple moments lifting spirits up. From the mountains to the sandy shore. Morning in America, want just a little more. Neighbors waving with a friendly rise. Kids with backpacks chasing daylight skies. Eyes cooling on a windowsill so fine. America's awakened with a heart full of shine. Neighbors waving with a friendly rise. Kids with backpacks chasing daylight skies. Eyes cooling on a windowsill so fine. America's awakened with a heart full of shine. Tractors rumble, fields coming alive. Big wheels turning where hopes and dreams strive. Laughter echoes down the old dirt road. America's awakened to lighten her load. America's awakened to lighten her load.
Hey, welcome back, Veteran Nation fans. Good to have you all here this morning. I'm still doing a couple producing things here. Let me get some of this all set up for us. Move this to right there. There we go. All right. How are you guys doing today? Let's see who we have here. We have Mama Georgie was first. Welcome, welcome. And we have Joan Walton here. We are still praying for you, Joan. Praying for you and your family. Then we got Georgie, who's here. Hey, baby girl. Good to see you, bestie. Stacy Woodson is here. Good morning. Good morning. Good to see you, Stacy. And, Heroes Chris is here. Good morning. We got Paul, who's here. Good morning. Good morning. There we go. Yeah. It's a pretty good day so far. I'm enjoying everything that has been happening so far. It's definitely, a pretty decent day. I gotta go in here and fix my guest stream. There we go. Paste that. And then scroll down. Okay. I think we got it all fixed. Let's try it out. Yep. Okay, there we go. It is working. You gotta do these production pieces. You gotta take care of the production. What cup are you using? I'm using your cup. My brain doesn't work that way. And thank you for reminding me. I promised Max Lab I would get him a link today so that he can start doing merch. So we'll get him all set up as well. So that'll be good. I like supporting people when creators are doing good stuff. I like doing that. I do have a couple stories for us here. Let me get these. This one I did watch the whole thing, and I thought it was funny.
Let's play.
Everything is working on this one. So let's watch this lady.
Let's play a little game called If Obama, and I'm hoping my MAGA trolls will answer this.
I'm not a MAGA troll, but Instagram did serve me this video, so let's play, I guess.
This guy is funny. This guy is very funny.
But I fear they lack the capacity.
Yes, of course, starting hot. If you're not a liberal feminist, you're stupid. Also, eating on camera is always a good idea.
What would they have done if Obama put his face and name on a commemorative coin?
There's a Barack Obama coin available at the United States Mint. 1-0 me.
Giant posters outside federal agencies.
Yeah, those are pretty stupid, and we would have made fun of Obama for it, but to be honest, I've never heard a single person ever
Biden did that. Biden did do that.
be like, hell yeah, banner. I don't know, what's the point?
What if Obama decided he was going to commission Obama-class battleships?
The last new battleship commissioned in the United States was in 1944. And honestly, that's pretty insane, because even though we have sea superior...
And don't forget, the Biden White House named a ship after Harvey Milk, a pedophile, a known pedophile. So,
superiority, China has a larger naval fleet. In the event that Obama commissioned such a battleship to be created, of which he could, it's highly likely that his name would have been on it as well. You know, like Obamacare.
What if Obama had put his name on the Kennedy Center?
Yeah, not a great look, and generally nobody was impressed by that. But the name of the Kennedy Center was not legally changed, as doing so would have had been done by an act of Congress. His name was added to the building's facade of the Kennedy Center by an independently chosen board of trustees. And even though, yeah, that's stupid, those people voted to put that name on the facade. So he didn't just do it himself. And again, it's stupid, but that's what it is.
Or the Institute of Peace.
Well, the Institute of Peace didn't exist, so how could he put his name on it? But theoretically, he could have created such a thing and done that. So is it just
again, like Obamacare.
because he didn't, or it's because it exists and you're mad that his name's on it? What name should have been on it? Well, who even cares?
What if Obama put his name on national park passes or U.S. passports?
The president's name or signature does not appear on any U.S. passport for Trump or any other president. Trump will be featured on a limited number of commemorative U.S. passports. They're only going to print 25 to 30,000 of them, and they will be available if you so choose to celebrate America's 250th birthday. Who's winning this game so far?
And they're doing it as a way to raise money. Like if you want that commemorative thing, you got to pay for it. It's like when they do commemorative stamps.
What if Obama created Obama gold cards and sold green card privileges to foreigners?
Yeah, it's not amazing, but it was intended to be used as a fundraising measure. You know, because we're $40 trillion in debt. And though the idea is whatever, generally speaking, it would add more high net worth people to the taxable economy. But the Secretary of Commerce confirmed as of a couple of days ago that they've only sold one. Literally one.
Huh. What if Obama wore a khaki suit? What if?
This video sucks. You prove nothing. I win.
Like the khaki suit, like I think it was stupid, but there are people who think that the president should be very regal, I guess you'd say. I don't believe that, but there are people out there who do. I really don't care how the president dresses. I don't care if the president has a beard or a mustache. It's not a big thing for me. Along the same lines, I got this one. This one's a bit long, but we'll show it. There we go. This one I have not seen all the way through.
Europeans thinking that they can walk to MetLife Stadium to see the World Cup is white supremacy, and I am going to explain to you why. Hi, my name is...
Everything is white supremacy. Me being able to buy Frito-Lay's chips is white supremacy. The sun coming up is white supremacy. That's the theme that you get with these people.
Kaylee, I'm a Shakespeare academic. If you know me, it's because I'm a Shakespeare academic. I have spent a cumulative 3 years living over in...
A Shakespeare academic? Ugh. Already I hate this woman.
Gay!
A Shakespeare academic. Shut up.
Hi, my name is Kaylee. I'm a Shakespeare academic. If you know me, it's because I'm a Shakespeare academic. I have spent a cumulative 3 years living over in Europe, 2.5 of those in England, in order to get my master's degree.
I bet you she brags about that. Like, oh, I lived in other cultures. I lived in a Muslim culture. Okay? You want to talk about getting comfortable being uncomfortable. Go to where go to a non-Western country. The left always goes to white countries, white Western countries.
Which means I was also participating up in that upper rub and shoulders echelon of academic society in England. And fun fact about me, I'm so from New Jersey.
Such a fun fact. Such a fun fact. I'm from Jersey. Okay.
Super from New Jersey. But Kaylee, stop being the woker. How is everything about white supremacy? I'm so serious. European supremacy is white supremacy. This is white supremacy. And the reason that they think they can walk to MetLife Stadium is because they think they're better than you. Literally. Because the conversation, okay, has gone like this. It's only 10 miles. We could walk there. And then
I'm already so exhausted, and we're 42 seconds into a 9-minute video. These people are exhausting.
Americans are telling you, no, you can't, okay? That's I-95 in New Jersey, okay? That is lanes and lanes of highway of people going upwards of 100 miles an hour, driving the most aggressively anyone has ever driven ever. Or you can walk through a literal toxic waste swamp. So the thing is, the European response isn't,
Don't you love how liberals, like, oh, you can go through traffic or go through a polluted fucking thing. And it's like, aren't you guys supposed to be the ones who care about the environment? Why are the liberal states the worst? I'm here in California, and like every idea they come out, like there was a plan to put seawater into the Salton Sea to bring life back to the Salton Sea. Yeah, they killed it so they could lithium mine it in California. The people who like to preach to you about having a gasoline vehicle.
I didn't know that about the infrastructure in the US. Wow, thank you for warning me, American. It's been, you guys are stupid, you're built different, I could totally do it. You're just jealous of the infrastructure we have here. You guys just don't walk enough. Americans are fat and lazy and drive their cars everywhere. That's been the response. Now, one,
Europeans don't realize how big the US is. And they are used to taking their bicycles everywhere. They're used to walking everywhere. It's just not realistic. And when you talk to Europeans who come and visit and live here, they then start to understand. They're like, oh yeah, it's just too big. Literally, you could drive from France all the way to the other side of Austria, and that distance right there is you've only driven the width of Texas, just Texas. And yeah, they just don't understand how big America is. But once they realize it, they're like, oh, okay. But to say it's white supremacy? Oh my God.
you just sound stupid and uneducated. There are 4 fundamental differences, okay, between our country and your country. Immigration, size, infrastructure, age. New Jersey is only slightly smaller than Ireland. New Jersey alone. It is one of the smallest states in our country, and it is also the most densely populated state. There are more people per square mile in New Jersey than any other state in this country. The amount of people who pass through New York City, which therefore means the New Jersey highways most of the time, by the way, in a singular day is more than the population of some European countries, okay? I need you to understand that. Let's go to immigration and age, because those two are tied together, okay? Almost no people who are in this country now are from this country. The population of people, the percentage of people in this country who are actually native to here is so incredibly small because of genocide. The sense of ownership is different here.
Genocide? Genocide? Where's this genocide? They like to throw these words around with no meaning. No meaning. Palestine has not experienced genocide. It is not. No. The U.S. has not genocided people. No. People getting deported to their home countries is not genocide.
okay? Things are just different here. The culture is different here, okay? You guys have some sort of nationalistic pride and identity in your head. Americans are just not like that, okay? Americans who are super nationalistic are just white supremacist Republicans, okay? Other Americans...
Not having an understanding how big the U.S. is not nationalism. Now, every country is going to have nationalism, and should. It's actually, it can be very healthy. But see, the liberals here have a problem with nationalism. They think nationalism is this horrible, horrible thing because it stops other countries. Well, guess what? When Hispanics who were born here in America say that they, when they wave a Mexican flag and say that their loyalty is to Mexico, that's nationalism. See, the liberals just don't understand nationalism. They want to view everything through their own prism.
Are more tied a lot of the time to their state or to their ethnic group or to other stuff in terms of pride than they are to the country.
Ethnic group. So, like, the country of origin, that would be nationalism. And that's what you see. You see that more... You see that more than ethnic group. Like, I'll tell you, I saw many arguments in the military between Mexicans and Puerto Ricans. Many arguments about which one was better. And yeah, so there was no real ethnic group. Like, they weren't like, oh yeah, we're all Hispanic. No, they were like, hey, I'm Hispanic, but I'm more Mexican. That's how they looked at it.
It actually baffled me so hard how nationalistic English people were when I showed up there. Included, like, particularly, like, otherwise leftist or otherwise liberal English people are still incredibly nationalistic.
Are people coming to cheer for their country's soccer team nationalistic? Are they going to wave English flags and say, come on, England? Oh, wow. Who would have seen that? Will the Venezuelans be doing that? Will the Peruvians? Oh my God, amazing.
English people are still incredibly nationalistic. That's just not the case with Americans. That's the case with American propaganda, and that's the case with very conservative, very racist Americans, but that is not the case with the majority of Americans, which is...
Yeah, everyone is racist. Everyone is racist. Oh my God.
Again, the size of Europe. Like, the country is the size of Europe. The age of America is also really important here, okay? We don't have old medieval roads. We don't have old Roman walkways.
Remember, she's an academic. She's a Shakespearean scholar. This is I forget what the term is. It's not the Dunning-Kruger, but there's a term about people who, if you are an expert in one subject, you tend to believe that you're an expert in other subjects. Her being an expert, and I'm just assuming she's an expert in Shakespearean plays and writings, okay? That doesn't mean she's an expert on any of this other shit. She just believes she is.
Ways, okay? None of that infrastructure existed because all of the infrastructure that did exist 200 years ago was intentionally leveled. All of it was gone, right? And there was infrastructure here, okay? But when I tell you everything has been built in the last 200 years...
I don't think someone's been to Boston. Drive the streets of Boston and tell me that the infrastructure has been leveled. Because a lot of those streets of Boston were created by the cattle. Believe it or not, they were created by people bringing cattle into the city, into the market to sell it. So the streets of Boston are a fucking mess.
Leveled. All of it was gone, right? And there was infrastructure here, okay? But when I tell you everything has been built in the last 200 years, I mean everything has been built in the last 200 years, which means everything, okay, particularly everything for the last 100 years, has been built for cars. It has been built for cars. The reason so many Americans end up moving to New York City is because it's one of the only places that is genuinely walkable, because it's one of the only cities that was settled to the extent of infrastructure that could not be completely changed around for cars. Because now we're getting into infrastructure. Areas that have been historically impoverished, historically home to native, black, brown people, right, have been plowed, raised, bulldozed over, highways built through, toxic waste dumped in. That is why New Jersey looks the way it does. Hey, guess what used to be under Central Park? If you guessed a thriving community of immigrants and black people, you'd be correct. Immigrants had a choice, right? Most black people didn't. That's why I said it like that. The areas around Jersey and New York, which, God, I love.
Everything is racial with these people. Every single thing is racial. It's exhausting.
I love New Jersey and I love New York. That's my country, okay? That's my real country. Pennsylvania, New Jersey, New York. Those are mine. Areas specifically around New Jersey, New York.
You notice how I would venture to guess she has not been to Middle America. Like, doesn't understand rural America at all. Jersey's got some problems, some major problems. You guys realize that Jersey, it has the highest amount of bear attacks because they don't allow hunting, and it's overpopulated with deer, and nature does not exist in a vacuum. One thing happens, another thing's going to happen. So now the bear population is exploding in New Jersey. New Jersey needs to address these things, or if not, it's going to be a major problem.
Pennsylvania, which that's my tri-state area. That's where I'm from. You know what I mean? So that's and most Americans, by the way, feel that way about like their home state. They don't feel that way about their country. Which again, if you look back at like the
Okay, I grew up in Ohio and Michigan. I don't feel any way that she feels, and I visited both New Jersey and New York. I've been there. I'm not saying I'm an expert on them, not at all, and I'm definitely not using them to say how all Americans think.
youth of this, like a lot of these states were not added more than 100, 200 years ago. Like this is a very, very new country. Anyway, you guys, I think like the areas around New York and New Jersey, you think of New York as like a big old city like London or something like that. It doesn't have that history because it was bulldozed over, okay? And I mean like the history in the walk, right? London, you can walk around, partly, particularly in the square mile, partly because all of those old medieval streets and things before there were cars, those all still exist because you didn't bulldoze over them. Outside of Manhattan and certain areas in New York City.
What? She's not even making sense.
And then certain downtowns around the country, that doesn't exist. That does not exist intentionally. White people fled to the suburbs on purpose to get away from black and brown people. Like white flight was a thing. There are hundreds of highways that were built intentionally.
And this is the same person who would say that what do they call it when white people gentrification, which she would be the type of person to gentrify, but would also say it's a bad thing. Everything is racist. There is nothing that's not racist.
Through black communities, or literally to segregate lines of black communities once Jim Crow was illegal, because racists still existed once.
Jim Crow was never in New Jersey and New York. That's the problem with this. Like, did Jim Crow exist? Yeah, it existed in the South. It didn't happen throughout all of the United States.
That was illegal. It's not like Martin Luther King ended racism. Anyway, I said white supremacy at the beginning of this video, and I haven't quite tied it back there yet. So let's go there, okay? Whiteness doesn't exist.
Good morning, Boomercraft.
So let's clarify on that. Whiteness does not exist. It was intentionally constructed in order to justify the slave trade. Whiteness was, let me say it again, intentionally constructed in order to justify the slave trade.
You just saying it doesn't make it true, okay? And you notice how she's not really giving any facts to back up anything she's saying.
If you want to dehumanize someone else to the point that you can do such horrific acts of violence, like what happened during the slave trade, I was going to try and say...
I'm just going to remind everyone. She is a Shakespearean scholar. So all the shit that she's talking about here, she is not an expert on.
Something out loud, and then the image, was actually haunting. But it...
And I'm saying that because one thing the left loves to do is to appeal to authority. They love pulling out their resume. Like, bitch, if you're not talking to me about a soliloquy, you're not an expert.
Was probably the most horrific act that humanity has ever committed was chattel slavery. Okay, to be clear. If you are going to do something like that, what they did, right, was justify it by saying black people were like animals and white...
Does she not realize that the slave trade exists today? Like, it still exists today. In fact, there are more slaves today than at any point in history.
People were genetically superior, okay? And a lot of Europeans don't realize it, but that is still baked into a lot of their beliefs. And when you say things like, well, we'll just walk, and then Americans tell you, no, you won't, and instead of listening to hundreds and hundreds of Americans telling you the same thing about infrastructure, you're saying, no, you're fat and lazy, you just couldn't do it, I walk a lot, I can do it. That's white supremacy. And I do.
That's white supremacy. Like, oh my God. Do you not understand what white supremacy is? Look, it's just Europeans don't realize how far things are. Like, I laugh about it. I was just in Vegas. And people, they think because, oh, I can see it, I can walk to it. Yeah, you try walking the strip in Vegas, it's starting to get warm here. It was 98 degrees was the hottest day that I had there. You try to walk the strip, you're going to be dying at the end of it. You will be covered in sweat, out of breath. America's just really big. Really big. You guys got to see how far I walked when I did my live stream. I did my live stream because I knew I was going to be walking far. But I wanted to get to a place where I could easily get a cab that would be easier, because if not, the cab where I was at would have had to go around a whole big thing. So I wanted to go to the other side, but I also wanted to stream for a little bit. I could have walked to Caesars. I instead walked 2 casinos down to Treasure Island. And that was what? 20-minute walk? Yeah, walking is white privilege. That's exactly what she's saying.
I mean, even if you're not white, by the way, because what that is, okay, that European mindset comes directly from phrenology and the construction of white supremacy. Okay?
Holy shit. She just said phrenology? Does she understand that phrenology, the study of head features, is not an exact science? Like, that they try to determine things about you from the bumps and cracks in your skull. That's phrenology. I swear to God, half of what liberals do are just throwing out terms they don't understand as if it's real.
Because what that is, okay, that European mindset comes directly from phrenology and the construction of white supremacy, okay, medical racism, the construction of medical racism in order to justify acting the way that they did. Let me feel your head. I can tell if you're Dutch and you have anger problems.
It's not a science. It's not a science at all.
That's made up, right? Europeans love to do this thing where they point at America and go, that's the problem. Don't look over here.
So you're mad about white people making snap judgments and decisions about things they don't know about? Maybe you should have just a little bit of self-realization. That's the problem with the left. They can't internally look at themselves and say, maybe I'm the issue.
So, again, let's go back to America's youth, right? 250 years. That is not a long time.
As I've said, Georgie, because Georgie's asking here, how can she call someone else racist when she's being inherently racist? Why is this not? There we go. Show it. Okay, my thing is not doing well. Huh. Weird. But yeah. Because there's no one here in the U.S. who's going to call people racist faster than liberal white women. They see everything through a lens of racism.
It's just not a long time. Particularly, hey, I'm a Shakespeare scholar. Not a long time. The people who founded and who run this country are wasps.
She isn't defending phrenology. No, but she said it was the reason. Phrenology is a pseudoscience. It is not the reason for anything. That was what I was talking about.
America's youth, right? 250 years. That is not a long time. It's just not a long time. Particularly, hey, I'm a Shakespeare scholar, not a long time. The people who founded and who run this country are WASPs, right? You've heard Americans throw around that term WASP. Do you know what that means? White Anglo-Saxon Protestant. In other words, English. That's what WASP means. Literally Anglo-Saxon. English. That you just don't follow the king, but you're English. I can't remember it directly, and I'm not looking it up because fuck that guy, but there's a Trump quote from fairly recently talking about, like, being disappointed because some guy wasn't a WASP. Like, that's how much it was. When JFK was elected and he was Catholic, it, like, mattered. It was, like, a thing. And I'm bringing this up because I need you to understand how recent all of this history is.
JFK was elected 70 years ago. Or 60. Sorry, 60 years ago. We've since had a black president.
Humans have such a limited scope of time because I'm 26 years old. You know what I mean? I've only been around since 1999. Okay? And that's really just not a long time. 250 years is not a long time. And we become so limited by our perspective sometimes that if we don't take the time to look back at the scope of history, it becomes really hard to understand how recent this stuff is. History was not inevitable.
Right, James? I was raised Catholic myself. The big issue about a Catholic president or vice president is people think that, Catholics will automatically do what the Pope tells them. So the question then becomes, does the Pope have any type of sway over our leader, or is our leader independent? That's the big issue about Catholicism in our elected leaders.
Those were real people making real choices that ended up the way they did, okay? This is not a story that we're telling about why things are the way they are. This isn't mythology. This is real people doing real stupid shit. But if you are a white person and somebody else tells you that you can't do something and your immediate response is, you don't understand, I'm built different, I would really question that. No matter your nationality, I would really sit there and question that for a minute. Same goes if you're a man, by the way, and somebody tells you that they're better than you at something or that you couldn't do something. If your immediate
We've moved from racism to now everything is sexist.
response is, you don't know, I could. I totally could. Let's think about that. Because when I tell you that people literally treated me like I was the stupidest boy alive when I opened my mouth in my Shakespearean academia classes, despite over 50% of my class being American, like, it was like I was discredited from the second my accent
I think you're an idiot because you opened your mouth.
and came out of my mouth, which of course then just makes me want to whip out this accent all the time because fuck you guys. Fuck you guys. Fuck the fuck out of you guys for thinking the fuck that you.
What a great argument. What a great argument. No facts. No facts. Nothing to support any of this bullshit that you're saying. Just F you guys.
Who just being from Europe means that you are better than anybody else. You shouldn't ever fucking think that you're better than anybody else because you're not better than anybody else. You're not. You're just not. You're a person.
Why are you now putting on a fake accent? That's the other thing. Like, liberals love the fake accent shit. I don't get it. It doesn't make you endearing. It doesn't make you smarter. Like, they do this all. Like, I see it here in California where they're like, instead of being like, they'll talk like this normally every single day and then be like, instead of being like, hey, can I get a horchata? Or can I get a horchata? Like, putting on the affectation of being an immigrant doesn't make you any at all likable or smarter. It just makes you look like an ass.
Everybody else is a person, and you're a person. Don't be a fucking bigot. Although, if you want to try walk into MetLife Stadium, be my guest, I do believe in natural selection.
Does anyone feel smarter having listened to that? I sure as hell don't. In fact, it just proved to me that liberal women are like, they're exhausting. What is this? Oh. I sent some stuff to Georgie. I might talk about it this week. I don't know. I do want to show this only because this, like, as a military member, I've been here. And I just want people to kind of see and understand this. This is you never forget the first time that you fire a 50 cal. It's pretty memorable.
Clear that weapon. Clear it, clear it, clear it. Here, pull that bolt back. Pull back.
If you're not used to pulling back, this can kick your ass. And this guy's pulling hard. It's actually more technique than anything. Once you do it, you're like, oh, okay, and you do it every time. But you'll see, yeah, it's kicking this young soldier's ass.
Pull it hard.
Bring it down. You don't see any smoke, right? Bring it down. Okay, go. Down, motherfucker, down.
Pull it hard. Pull it hard. Hold it there. Feel anything? There's nothing in the chamber? No? Cool, let it go. AG, get that belt in there. Give him some help. There it is.
Lift it up like one or two clicks.
Get it in there.
There you go. You see him?
Drop that latch. Drop that latch. Pull it back. Hard. Pull it hard.
A gunner needs to move back, because when this thing starts going, there's a reason why all this stuff, there's going to be lots of carbon, lots of dust, and if the wind blows right, it's going to come right at this guy. You need to sit back.
Both hands.
Hold fast?
Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, on 3. 1, 2, 3. Pull. All right, I got you. Watch out. Fire that shit.
Probably go through like 5 more. So off the barrel. Then it's on the other.
Hell yeah, hold that
Speed
fucker
up,
down.
speed up.
Hold it down, shoot it a lot.
Trigger.
Die, fuzzy bunny, die. Die, fuzzy bunny, die. That's what you do. A lot of people don't understand how much, but oh, now this thing is showing. Okay. Now it's showing. But yeah, a lot of people don't understand the whole thing of why, or don't understand how much fun it is to fire a crew serve weapon. That, it takes some skill, and it takes some getting used to it. And yeah, for that soldier, he's never gonna forget that moment. I remember the first time I fired a 50 cal. Was, about the same way. I didn't know how to pull things back. Didn't know. Got to slam that latch down. When you throw the rounds in there, you push them in. You got to do it with some force. The other thing I want to talk about is Spirit Airlines closing up. Elizabeth Warren stopped Spirit from being able to merge with JetBlue, and said it was this big corporate grab and everything. Well, now Spirit is closed down because they didn't have enough cash on hand. 17,000 Americans lost their jobs because of the Biden administration, who sued to stop the merger, and Elizabeth Warren, who sits on a committee about the FAA that also worked to stop it. So, yeah, this is the problem. What are your thoughts on Chicago teachers, union buses, 2,000 elementary school kids for May Day march in Chicago? Yeah, that should be illegal. These teachers with their pride flags in the classroom, that's a political flag. It's a political flag. The only flag that should be in any classroom is the American flag. That's the only one. But yeah, they want to use these children. They, if you're taking children out of class, one, it should be with parents' knowledge and permission, and two, like, why do you need kids to boost up your, for your political issue? All you're telling me is that the average regular American doesn't give a shit about your issue. Don't give a shit at all. Yeah, children should belong at protests. If you are a parent and you're taking your child to a protest, you are wrong. You are 100% wrong. Sorry, not sorry. We saw that in Minnesota where the one woman had her baby in a stroller. They got tear gassed. Yeah, you took your child to somewhere unsafe. That woman needs to be investigated by CPS. Yeah. So that's my thoughts on it. All right, guys. I am going to get going. Thank you so much for being here today. I'm glad we were able to get through that long ass video of that crazy woman. Oh my God. They just want to lecture to you. They don't want to have a discussion. They want to lecture and talk at you. But all right, I'm going to get going. Thank you so much for being here. And as always, thank you for being worth serving.
Coffee brewing as the sun peeks through the haze. Birds are chirping, serenading morning's praise. Front porch creaks as dreams fade away. America's awaking to a brand new day. Old vinyl spinning a sweet old tune. Day starts dancing under a sleeping moon. Loose print smudges on fingers of grace. America's awaking at her own steady pace. Sips of sunshine in a coffee cup. Simple moments lifting spirits up. From the mountains to the sandy shore. Morning in America, want just a little more. Neighbors waving with a friendly rise. Kids with backpacks chasing daylight skies. Eyes cooling on a windowsill so fine. America's awaking with a heart full of shine. Old vinyl spinning a sweet old tune. Day starts dancing under a sleeping moon. Newsprint smudges on fingers of grace. America's awaking at her own steady pace. Sips of sunshine in a coffee cup. Simple moments lifting spirits up. From the mountains to the sandy shore. Morning in America, wanting just a little more. Neighbors waving with a friendly rise. Kids with backpacks chasing daylight skies. Eyes cooling on a windowsill so fine. America's awaking with a heart full of shine. Neighbors waving with a friendly rise. Kids with backpacks chasing daylight skies. Eyes cooling on a windowsill so fine. America's awaking with a heart full of shine. Tractors rumble, fields coming alive. Big wheels turning where hopes and dreams strive. Laughter echoes down the old dirt road. America's awaking to lighten her load. America's awaking to lighten her load.
Hey there, Veteran Nation fans. I am talking to you today because I have teamed up with a company that's dedicated to supporting veterans. What they do is they help you gather all the medical evidence that you're going to need to submit a VA disability claim. Now, it's all that is designed to help you get the benefits that you have earned. Right now, more than 17 million veterans don't have their full benefits. And if that sounds something familiar, either for yourself or a family member, now is the time to act. With this company, what they offer is free consultations with the medical team so they can figure out how they can best help you. And what they provide is board-certified doctors with experience working with the VA, comprehensive medical documentation for both physical and mental conditions, and the services that they provide include nexus letters, telehealth evaluations, DBQs, TDIU, aid in attendance, and so much more. What you're going to do is you're going to click the link that's in the description of this video and sign up for a free consultation. Make sure you do me a favor, share this, and also tag a veteran. Let's help more people get every single thing